Hello, 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 hello. How is everyone doing today? Um, you're listening to Heart with Saima, the podcast show for people searching for that courageous person within us who wants to be inspired by listening to stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I'm Saima Dillon, your host. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here, and thank you to everyone who watches the podcast, and you message me or you meet me in places, and you share your experience with me. It is a passion project, so let's dive right in. My guest today is someone I find very unique. She is the founder of Official Lipstick Reader. Miranda demonstrates the magic of a first kiss through her interactive readings by connecting through a kiss print the past, present, and foresee the future. Miranda is offering to those listening live and who comment below in the comment section, kiss this, and you will be offered a mini reading. Make sure to follow Miranda at ReadYourKiss. Um, and do follow her. For those of you who are watching the recording, if you send us a message on vip@simadillon.com, Miranda will send you a PDF copy. Read anyone's kiss print. So without further ado, let me bring Miranda on. Hello, 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 Miranda. It's an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to have you here with me. And like I mentioned earlier, what you do is something very unique and something very different. And so, how about I give you the screen and let you share about who you are and yourself and what you do with my audience?
Well, thank you so much for having me. My goodness, when anyone that's referred to me from Jen, she has become like one of my closest, dearest friends. She reached out on LinkedIn as well. We did our show a couple of months ago. And when she says, this is the person that you need to chat with, get connected with, there wasn't any questions. So I'm so glad we had a short 15-minute. We did a quick lip print reading, and your lip print says you're going places. And I'm like, book me, girl, book me. So a little bit about what I want to do is I want to make sure that we are in a very good space. And so with that, with your permission, we're going to go ahead and ask the angels to join us. Second is we're going to go ahead and have a little bit of firepower. So go ahead and blow me a kiss on it, please. Mwah. There we go. Here we go, ladies. Boom. And namaste. So my name is Miranda. I'm the official lipstick reader. I'm a kiss whisperer to the stars. What I do is I connect your soul's purpose through the imprint of a kiss. What I did is I created this particular modality out of something fun. I mean, how much more fun and safe is it? Is just to be able to kiss a piece of paper and someone be able to read your past, present, and future. What I found is that through my background of my family and my Native American, as well as the Navy, the forensics. So the kiss print, before anyone gets any confusion, the kiss print starts off with forensics. It's a science. Same thing as a palm print and the fingerprint. That means that there is an actual story. What I love about the kiss print, though, it's fluid. What that means is that your palm print, your fingerprint really cannot change. But your kiss print, and we're going to explore that, is that you do a kiss for me too, past and present, and then after we have a little chat, after we look at your journey, we see where you were, why you are the way you are, where you're going, then you provide a third kiss and you will see that the features have changed. How can that be if it's the same lips, same face? And that's what I want to share with you and your audience today. But more importantly, what do we learn? What do we learn from others and kiss prints, and where are we going, and how do we make this a safe place but be able to explore our insecurities but open up the possibilities? So with that, I am so pleased to be on your show.
It's such a pleasure. And, when you initially, uh, you you read your bio and you see what you're all about, it just doesn't register that there's actually a science behind this. And it just sounds like, the imprint of a kiss. I mean, how are you able to determine, where we are heading or where we are coming from, just from the imprint of your kiss? And Miranda, irrespective of the gender, it's like. Do you see that there are some extreme distinctions, distinction between the reading of men versus women?
No, actually, the only difference is that men tend to beat the women up to get to the front of the line. So I hear often is like, I even had just the other day, and it was at the police museum here in LA. And of course, the women were like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So when I did my little pitch, the first thing I said, okay, women, when your man comes home and he has that lipstick on the collar, what if you can call me and I told you what that person looks like, what their characteristics are? And the women were like, yes, yes, and the guys were like, ooh. But during that event, I actually had a couple of guys be really brave, and I'll show you a couple of pictures. But there was one gentleman, an Army brother, a retired Navy, who said, no way will I do this lipstick. There's no way. And I mentioned about John Wayne, and of course it's, yeah, John Wayne. That was so back then. But I can share that he actually came back and we did a lip print. He was the most profound and affected, and there's always one crier. We're not going to mention who he is because he's very good looking and single, ladies, but he actually had tears. And he said, you know me, you read me, you understand me. And I also shared the journey of being an Army veteran. I've been in the trenches, he's been in the trenches, and he had such a moment of relief that not only did he hug me, but he brought his other brothers to come and talk to me. So men have no problem with it. It's getting them to the party. So no, nothing
Getting them
different.
to put the lipstick on.
Same lips. The difference is most of the time I have to help them put the lipstick, but don't let that fool you. I've had some guys put it on better, like right here, right here. Okay.
Might as well enjoy the experience, right?
Exactly. I mean, men want to know too, are they in the right relationship? Are they in the right career? What's holding them back? Are they having daddy issues? Some, are they having mommy issues? What is it that can make them more open to an amazing future, and what's holding them back? And it can even be ancestry. It could be ancestry DNA. It can be from the womb. It can be from generations to the back. And so that's why what I do is first scientific. I want to make sure I connect because I'm going to affirm. So my affirm is you are XYZ, you like XYZ, and this is why you do XYZ. So once we have that connection and people let their guard down, then I allow the woo. I allow my gift to come in. And that's when the connection and the energy of your kiss allows me to share the journey.
And I think that's what everyone is trying to do in this life, right? Everyone is trying to figure out the rights and the wrongs, and um, I feel that I feel that we are all living this life that we have been conditioned into, until we realize, which maybe everyone might not even realize, that the day you are able to separate what your authentic self, what you have come into this world to actually do, and who you are meant to be, versus who you have become because of all that conditioning.
Right,
I mean,
right.
that's where the game changes.
The game changes not only from your DNA, your ancestry, but also we talk about the hurt locker. So the hurt locker is what is in your past that is continually feeding to your present of not being good enough or not being enough, or so many things that we talk to ourselves about. And most of the readings I do, I don't have to say, you know what, hey, you're in a good place. It is stop beating yourself up. No one has to actually say anything negative, even though you have a lot of naysayers. You do it all on your own, and we're going to cut that out, because if we cannot be our best cheerleaders and our best people that love us, we already have people around us that's not. And so that's what I definitely want to bring in the forefront. And that is stop the conversations,
Yeah.
know that it can be from the past. What we're going to do is we're going to relieve that. So people say, well, I've been going to therapy for years. So there's also psychoanalysis. So we never ever want to take that away. But what would happen if I can, within 5 minutes, sum up everything that you've already shared with your psychotherapist? And that is your past, why you do the things you do. A lot of things that you share that takes so long for business coaches, psychoanalysis, so many people to be able to get out that I'm able to get within a few minutes through a kiss print. And what we do is we cut out the BS of, oh, I'm just fine. I don't know why I'm here. I just, just have sometimes a few incidences. So we get through that and we're going to save time, but more importantly, a connection. And I'm coming through the kiss whisper. I'm coming through the actual connection. So my past is I am a business coach, a life coach, a romance coach, but also I've worked with families. So back in the day when I was earning my master's, I did a lot of residency with families and adolescents. And I actually grew up on the streets. I am a product of the foster program. My mother passed away about 10 years ago, my daughter 2 years ago. And what happened is we are a product of the um, schizophrenia.
I'm
And
so sorry to
back
hear that, Miranda.
yes. So back then, what happened is, so you had voices, you heard voices, and people were like, way back. Let's go way back. They burned you because you were a witch and you were hearing these voices and premonitions. Then they got really creative and then locked you up because now you have schizophrenia or you have some kind of a diagnosis. Now, I'm not saying they're not valid and real. So I want to make sure that I'm letting everyone know that I'm not taking that away, that they are very real. There's medication, and you need the help that you do. What I am saying, there are those of us like light workers. My mother was definitely a light worker. She had voices, she heard premonitions. But because of her era, she was born in the 30s, she passed away in the 80s. And so her era was, let's lock her up. She's hearing voices. And so she was heavily medicated. And because of that, she was not able to be her genius self. My mother taught me, be whatever you want, always get your education. So even though I lived on the streets, even though I was a foster home, and even though that in group homes, what I learned is the actual kiss, giving someone a kiss, coming from our moms or our parents, actually says, I matter. Someone cares about me. I'm protected. But many times, many of us didn't even know our parents. Many times we never even knew a mother's kiss, but we all knew what it meant. So as I aged up, I then became the bearer of a kiss goodnight. So with the kiss, and then learning about my light working, and then put the Navy, the forensics, put all that together, and my master's, and the education, I was able to figure out how do I use my PTSD. I am a product of PTSD as well, from the some of the things I was in the 80s, and I learned to use my hypervigilance. So people say, where does it come from? So I want our audience to really understand that when they feel their intuition, is it their intuition or their gut? Is it someone, actually their angel, someone speaking to you and say, pay attention? Or is it your gut say, be careful, be careful? So there's a big difference, but it's learning to differentiate.
Like, is it your intuition or is it your fear?
Yes, exactly. And that's what I had to learn through the years. And that's what I offer in my workshop is, how do you know the difference? How do you tap into it? And if you are a light worker, how do you really be able to do something with it and maybe even monetize it? And that's the thing that I did with 9/11. My life shattered, like so many of us. I didn't realize that I had been assaulted in the Navy. I didn't realize that my life was, on speed dial. And every time I got up, it was automatic, automatic. So when 9/11 hit, it opened up something. And then I became a statistic that I was not able to function. Almost lost my home, my children. I was no longer that high functioning person that was on autopilot. So, what I was able to do through the VA is to be able to get the help I needed and to be able to really talk about my past. That's why it's so important that psychoanalysis or any other medical treatment is a very good place to start. And that's what I did. And then once we figured out this medication and we figured out my past and we figured out, my hurt locker, we were able to actually put me back in a path almost of a rebirth as if I had never been broken. So that took many years. It took a realization that was in my late 40s. I don't want people to wait 10, 20 years until they have that aha moment. What I want to do and what I do is share through a kiss is what is it? What is it doing? How's it affecting? Let's clear it and let's just be magnificent. And that's basically, how I created and where I ended up today.
Wow, it's so amazing, Miranda. Right? We are all dealt with different cards in life, and it's up to us what we choose to do with the cards that are dealt us. We
Yes,
can either fight our way through, and we can rise above and be courageous, and pave our way to changing our own dynamics and rewriting our own story,
right.
or we can let the different emotions just drown us, and and then we just let someone else write, or we're just at the mercy of whatever cards are dealt.
I'm in my, let's say, early late 50s, and so my era, and even recently, I just actually had this conversation with someone last night
Yeah,
in in my home, and it was get over it, buck
yeah,
up. It is fake it till you make it, and
yeah,
it's basically grow out of it. Well, that's not true. That's not true. If you don't have the tools, if you don't have, what people take for granted is the skill sets, then how can you buck it up?
yeah,
And so that's basically what I had learned. Took a lot for me to even have social skills whatsoever. I lived on my own. I was my own person. I was on my own 6, 8 years old when my mother slept. I was out in the street, so there was many things that I didn't have the social skills. So I had to take, believe it or not, a charisma class. I'm like, why don't people get me? Why don't they like me? I'm so kind. I want to give everything.
yeah,
And so I really had to look at what is it I'm lacking? What is it I want? What is it I want to be? I even took a comedic course because I'm not naturally funny. I'm not. I think I'm funny. I laugh at my things all the time. So
and I
what
think
that
that's okay.
but I think so. But when you're an entertainer like I am, or you really want to be able to draw people as opposed to being,
Yeah,
I'm an A personality, I'm Native American, I'm Latina, I'm firstborn, I could go on and on. There is no reason that I'm going to be soft skills, that I am going to be your best friend, and I'm going to be like, that's okay, honey. Everything that is about my birth order
yeah,
says that I am a hard hitting and I'm a truth teller and say it as it is. Well, that wasn't working for me. So put my lack of skills growing up and then put my personality of my birth order, and I knew I had to do something different. And that is through education. And then I kind of stumbled into this modality, and I found through a kiss people were able to open up. They were like, how did you know that? And once you make that connection and you get to, and here's the thing I want your listeners, my audience to hear. When you get someone to say, me too, I want you to write this down. Me too, in a good sense, is that you've had that connection. So it's either me too or how did you know that? So those two sentences, those two connections is when you know that you are bonding with someone, and that's your moment to be able to guide a soul.
and it's opening your vulnerable side up to everyone, which where you're able to make that heart to heart connection, where you're able to let the other people know that maybe you're not able to tell from the persona, which is, and this I'm speaking for myself, you know, maybe people are not able to tell from the persona which is created on social media, but when you actually watch me, I'm right here to tell you that, you know what, I've seen those hardships, I've taken those downfalls, I have
Right.
been there, I've taken, you know, I've been hit by the storm many times, but um, it has always been about survival and always been about getting up and to just keep going and keep moving forward in search of for me it's rewriting my own story, you
Right.
know, not staying in that victim mentality where it's like, okay, you know what, the whole world is wrong, they are the ones who are accountable, they did it. For me it's about, you know what, it's all about me, it's what I do with my life and where I take myself and my story.
That's so true. Unfortunately, through the years, or even now, there's many of us, and I'm going to talk to women. We have a few brave men, but I'm basically going to be talking to women, my sisters. And that is, who is your role model? Who's your mentor? Who is it that you're allowing in your sacred space that is giving you advice, feeding you information? And if you're not selective, and if you're not with someone that's equal or has more experience with positivity and affirmations, then you're never going to grow. You're going to stay stuck, and you're going to be with naysayers, and you're going to be with others that want you to continue being and feeling small. So, one of the homeworks I do is give me your top 10 people that you have a conversation that's part of your circle. And it could be five, let's
Yeah,
say 5 to 10. And then with them, where are they at career wise, relationship wise, spirituality, and as well as even financial. So
yeah,
look at and give them scores 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then look at others that are family that you basically have to keep part of your life, and look at where are they at, what are they bringing to the table. Now, this is not a place for judgment. It is a
yeah,
place for you to put a numerical value of who is going to be your influencer. So we have those that are family and people we care about, that they can stay remaining part of our family, but they don't have to be our influencer. That means that if you have Sally Mae, and she's a sister, an older sister, and she always has advice for you, but she doesn't have her act together, but she always has advice for you, and you tend to feel like she's my older sister, so she should know. And even though you may not take her advice, but the words, what she's sharing with you, is landing.
yeah,
And that in itself is giving you a negative to positive. So you have an influencer that's giving you this, and is having you grow, and giving you, lots of value, and really is uplifting you.
yeah,
Then you have someone that is kind of giving you their bias, as
yeah,
well as their hurt locker. So it's actually going to put you at a zero. So you have positive, you have negative, and a zero. And with me and my Kiss Whispers, what we want to do is we want to eliminate the energy, not the people, but the energy. So you're always at positive, not either at the zero or the negative. And that's where the energy of a kiss comes from. And who is in your circle?
yeah.
And where are you? Is your kiss open? Are you allowing everything to penetrate? Is it affecting you? Or is your kiss totally closed, and that means that you're sealed from life? So there's many stories within a kiss print that allows me to kind of bear witness of where people are right at that moment.
Wow, wonderful. So, are we? Should we start? Should I share? So, how about we start with Noor's?
Okay.
And show. And I know I sent it to you. So
Yes.
let's share Noor's lip, and we do want to let the audience know as well, um, that, you know, if anyone would like for your lip print to be read by Miranda, uh, well, you know, please reach out to her, and her website is right there, and you can connect with her on Ready Your Kiss as well. So coming back, Miranda, here is, so I want everyone to see, here is three different forms of kiss from
North.
the same
So,
person.
so I want everyone to know there's three. So I've already taken a look at this, did a brief reading. So the bottom kiss, can you fold that over so that people can not see that quite yet? That way I can describe that and show that to me again, please. Just the two. Nope, a little more right there. Perfect. Nope, a little higher. Perfect. There we go. Right there. Okay. So with the first kiss, as you can see, they're both luscious. They're both nice and full and luscious. I also look at the signature. The signature allows me to be able to connect with someone. Remember, I'm at events. There could be thousands of people. Usually there's at least, maybe 100 people around my booth. There's a lot of souls, a lot of angels. There, people from the past saying, let me talk, let me talk. So the signature allows me to connect soul to soul. And Noor went ahead and sent that to me. So the first thing I want to share is that the first kiss is very full and very rich. What that means, full imprint. We have three types of kisses. We have the resting, which is, then we have the launch, and then we have the mwah. So launch is, I'm getting ready to leap. And then we have I'm ready to receive. So her first kiss, and this is her past, her first kiss is, she's always been ready. She has been the product of a good family upbringing. She actually has the tools that she's always ready to explore, always ready to try something. She's fearless. So that's also something for mom here that probably was no, trying to teach her to rein her in a little bit, because there's times that we don't want our daughters to go off and do crazy things, but she was fearless. And then her second kiss, which is present. Oh, I'm sorry. And then the kiss on both sides. The kiss on both sides right there is closed. What that means is that anything that has been affecting her from the past is done. So what that means to us is there an ex that we're still heartbroken over? Is there financial things that aren't closed? Is there, parents that we're still having issues with? So this can mean one or two things. The kiss itself being closed can mean that she's come full circle. She's worked very hard to be able to be in a good place all on her own. She's no longer identifying with her family or anything that can take away her own identity. And the second kiss, it's very similar. The difference is it doesn't have as much lipstick, of course, but you can see that the kiss is starting to open just a little bit, just a little bit. And what I love about this is that it's still a full kiss. So that means she's still her own person, but she's close to her family. She still asks advice. She still takes into consideration what mom says, particular mom. I don't see too much of a relationship with dad, but with that, she is in a beautiful place to be able to launch and do anything that she chooses to do. Now, I don't have a color. She didn't give me a color, and she didn't give me an area that she would like for me to address. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and grab a couple of cards, and we're just going to let an angel talk to her. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So for Noor, what we're going to ask Noor, what is her next thing? Angel, go ahead and give us a reading. So the first thing is family is very important to her. However, whatever's going on within the family has been quite difficult for her. She's actually taken a lot of things internally. There needs to be more dialogue with her, that whatever's going on with mom and dad has nothing to do with her. It has to do with them. Even though she's a young adult, it's still affecting her of what can I do to, and then you fill in the blanks, XYZ. She is on a beautiful journey. She has now accepted that she is her own person and that she makes decisions and that she's very comfortable with that. She also understands the sacrifices that mom has done for her. So mom has been there through thick and thin and has probably stayed in certain situations longer than probably what was best for mom.
Oh
But
my God, you're going to make me start crying.
but Noor now as a young lady understands that she's not blaming, she's understanding the sacrifices for the happiness of the family. And here's one. Noor tends to live in an influx of hope. I don't like hope. Hope is, I hope this will work out. I hope that whatever happens, happens. So instead, I am going to change that just a little bit. And instead of hope, we are going to have the card rise. So Nora's position now is to rise above it all, to rise into her greatness, her genius, her creativity. But more importantly, is that she is going to have a family. She's going to have at least two children. She's going to be in a marriage. I don't know if she's married now, but when she is, that's going to be the lifelong. And the best part is, just to reassure you, Mom, is the example and sacrifices you placed gave her the blueprint of what it's going to take in order for her to have a successful relationship and career. So go ahead and show us the third kiss. So there's the third kiss. Okay. So if everyone can see, it's now totally solid, but the ends are a little bit more open. So what that means is she has received the message and she's ready now to move forward. So the kiss, remember they were both really closed on both sides. Now the kiss is starting to open. That means she's exhaled, like, I got this. So she's in a beautiful place.
Wonderful. Any advice for her?
Yes, the biggest advice I have for her is to really pay attention to what people are saying. She tends to think the best of everyone. She definitely lives in positive energy and feminine energy. So I want your listeners to understand the difference. So we have masculine energy and feminine energy. It has nothing to do with male and female. It has to do with the energy. So I kind of describe it like this. So with women, if we meet someone and we have that me too, or how did you know, all of a sudden within that luncheon, that dinner, they know how many times we've been married. They know our family secrets. They know our children. They know our vulnerabilities. And then the next couple of days, they either disappear or all of a sudden our business is out everywhere. That's feminine energy, meaning that I trust everyone until you give me a reason not to.
That's me.
Masculine energy is I trust no one until you give me a reason to. So let's kind of think about men. So men meet someone at work and they're, all of a sudden they're going to go get a drink. They have a drink. You will rarely catch men talking about everything we just described with the female. They'll know a little bit and they'll just, watch the game and just be able to enjoy each other's space, but they stay in their own lanes. Then maybe after a couple of times, they open up more. All of a sudden, they're doing a fishing trip or some kind of trip, or they become, better buddies. All of a sudden, then they start to share more. And most people think that's because men don't share. No, it's masculine energy. So their thing is, I trust no one until you give me a reason to trust. So we as women wonder, oh my gosh, why is our secrets? Why, did I share too much? I thought I was being open and transparent. And men are more like, give me a reason, to get into my space, then I'll give you. So the advice I have for your daughter is she's definitely feminine energy, but she has the masculine energy that has really put her in a great position to not trust. So there's probably one or two friends along the way that really, really could have done a lot of damage, whether it was to her personality, to her reputation growing up, or to maybe something that could have really had a setback. But because of the masculine energy that came up, she's like, whoa. So these two friends through the years kind of let her go because she was not able, or she was not allowing them to do their, to go into her boundaries. Then as she grew older, she realized, but I want friends. I want people to like me. I want people to be part of my tribe, my sisterhood. So then we reverted all the way to the opposite side. I trust everyone. So right now, her biggest struggle is, who does she trust? So my advice for her is to go back to the 10 areas, 5 to 10. What are they doing? Where they are? What are they providing? And what advice are they in life? The other is same thing. then you'll realize that your trust factor. Okay, I let these people in and I haven't really let these people in. So you know what? I'm good. If you find it opposite, then what you have to do is go back to more of your male energy and have people give you a reason to trust them.
Awesome. Well, thank you. She's going to watch this, and yeah, she's very much a believer in in energy and everything that energy does for us. Um, so I'm sure she's going to. So should we move on to mine?
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and let me take a picture of that again. Go ahead and show me yours. Okay, near your chin for me, please. No, the other way. There you go. A little bit up higher. So, okay, so you have three as well. Oh, this is the one from before, right?
No, I just took this.
Okay, so you have three. So which is your first? Which is your second? So
This
you
is
have.
the first one, second, and here's the third.
Oh, so what's the one on the very top? You have a shadow of one.
Just disregard that.
Okay, but see, there's no disregard. I just want to
Oh,
share that with you. So
okay.
every time
That's
someone,
actually Noor's on the backside.
yeah, yep.
Okay.
And so when people, it's funny during events, people are like, oh, but she said if my kiss is open and closed, so they'll grab another card and try to do their fate, and they try to change that. And then people will say, oh no, that's not my kiss. Or I didn't. There was always a reason of
Mhm.
why they wanted to change their kiss. So let me go ahead and see yours again. See it. So it's Nora's in the back. And it's funny because what it is it's sitting on top of yours. And if
Yes.
you look at the shape, yours is so much different. But
Yes.
what she's doing is you're the wind beneath her wings. So if you take a look at your kiss, do you see that? You are the wind beneath her wings. So you are carrying her. You are guiding her, and she trusts you. And the relationship that you have, especially moving forward, if there's whatever changes are going in your life, is just going to have both of you soar. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you on your kiss. So let me go ahead and take a look at the one. Okay. So do you want to say out loud something that you would like me to answer for you? Anything. It could be, am I in the right career? Whatever it is, personal, not personal, whatever it is, go ahead and ask me.
Well, let me see. I mean, I am in a place where there's a
Same.
lot of change happening in my life. And I think, um, I'm searching, my soul is searching. And it's, um, trying to go places, trying to just live my best life. And so, am I heading in the right direction?
Okay. And I really appreciate you sharing that with us. And so, a couple of things, ladies, is that, it's her story to tell, but she is shifting. There's a big transition within her family. And we had talked about this a little bit. And the career she has, is she in the right place? Is she going to be successful? I had asked her back when we first were chatting, and that is financially. Through this change, are you going to be okay?
Yeah.
And she said, actually, yes. And because of that, she's not going to have this vacuum that many of us women have when there's a shift in the relationship, that we're like, how am I even going to pay the roof or do this? So she's quite blessed, and it's not due to the relationship, it is due to her contribution. So I want everyone to understand that we as women, first of all, we're no longer in the 50s and 60s where we have to depend on XYZ, a man, a woman, a family. We are in a position that we are our own person, we earn our own money, and we fought very hard for our own rights. But what we have to do is sometimes when we have a shift in relationships, it can come blindsided. It could be like, whoa, how did this happen? And then what I do is I'm able to actually go through the journey and say, between this age and this age, this is what I see happening. Like, oh my gosh. And there's times that I'm able to foresee that if there is going to be this shift, what to do. And that is open your own account. Do this, do that. Make sure everything is separate. And you see this look of like terror, and I'm like, no, no, it doesn't mean it's happening. It means that I foresee something. So wouldn't you rather have plan B and just live your life and know that, you know what, if you never ever need to go there,
Yeah.
that it could be your trip around the world, you can use it for something else.
Yeah.
But what if you have plan B, and when you're blindsided, it's like, you know what, I got this. So with that, that's what you did. So that's where you are in. So the question we really have for you is, what's next? So what's next for you? And are you in your passion project? So we know the industry that you're in.
Yeah.
This is something that you're trained in, something you're very successful. But let's see what's going to be your passion. What's going to be your heart to heart? So the first thing we have is, again, hope. So we're taking that away. We don't hope. We are going to make things happen. You two are going to be rising above, more so than you ever could dream of. Okay. Even though you're going to struggle with isolation, this is perfect because you're no longer going to have to be stretched every which way. Your relationship pulls you, your family pulls you, you pull you, your home, your parents pulled in every direction.
And I
You're
know.
now going to be in a beautiful place that, you know what, you get to just worry about you, whoever's still remaining at home, and everything else is a blessing. It's not going to be pulling you. So isolation is actually a very good card. So cold-blooded, this is something you have to be careful with, because like me, my family, my culture is, if there's any change in relationship, even though we're now that everyone gets a shift. It could be divorce, it could be separation, it could be even being a widow. So everyone still that we usually have one or two people that are still going to blame us, that are still going to blame, well, why did you this, or why did you do this, or this. And your card that was pulled is cold-blooded, meaning be careful with those that are trying to warm you from outside sources. You are a warm-blooded, beautiful woman, and that means that you get your validation from you. Be
Yeah.
careful with others that are going to want to land and put a little bit of ice on that, okay? I love this one. You have the key. You've always had the key. You are the keeper of the key, that you can be and do anything that you choose to. And even better, you're now going to have that peace of mind and be able to take care of you. Okay. Right now you are in a crossroads, but I'm to let you know that that crossroad is choice. So you have like three things that you're looking at. You're now at a crossroads. Whatever you decide, as long as it's your passion project, because you have an industry that already does well. Now look at, what is it that you can do that's close to your heart. I feel this podcast is one, but
Okay.
I also feel that maybe a mentor, and not a mentor in a business sense, but a mentor, culturally, and a mentor of what you did and what you, build a tribe with. And that you'll also be able to monetize that with memberships and with other things. But you are now going to rise above, and with your own culture and how you emerged and really taught your family that you don't have to put up with, you don't have to stay in anything, because you are your own person and we all rise above it.
Oh my God. The things that you're saying and some of the conversation that I literally had with Noor a couple of hours ago. And, I was talking to my assistant earlier, and I was discussing things with her. And literally, because I do have a women empowerment group called Women of Noor, and we are streaming live in there as well. And we have like
Oh, wow.
2,700 women. And that is a place, it's my passion project, and I started that 5 years ago. But I wasn't really in a place, emotionally and mentally, to do a whole lot with it. But now I'm feeling that I want to take that group and turn it into, this women empowerment organization where we lift and we empower each other. So it's just so, like, you're talking about the same thing, and that's like,
Yeah. So something I want to share with, that I'm finding and feeling for you. Now there are people doing podcasts. They're like, one every third person is doing a podcast. One in every fifth person is doing a paid membership. One in every fifth to eighth person is doing a paid digital course of some sort. So those are the three things that, it's almost like it's a new thing, with COVID, everyone now all of a sudden learn, oh, I could stream. The difference with you, and I want to really emphasize this for you and other women that are listening, the difference with you having a membership, a paid membership, a key to your group, it is not a people are paying into it, people are contributing to the story. So for instance, let's say you charge $29 to $79 a month in order to be part of your membership. And that's like so many people are doing that. But instead, your value is going to be that with their contribution, not only are they going to be able to do the value, but it's going to be the the multiples, and that is duplication, replication. So someone is in your membership for $29. Well, they then are going to be able to multiply whatever they're doing. So because you are very much a quantitative person, and your brain is opposite of mine. So think about it. So you have 5, 10 people that are now paying, I'm not going to say paying, that are now contributing to the growth of this, to help their sisters and to be able to contribute, that with that, it's going to be the multiple of 6. So the multiple of 6 is going to be something that is much bigger. It's not going to be these 3 things: paid membership, digital course, the podcasts that are so typical and so many people are venturing into. With you, your diversification with your daughter, what you've learned, the monetization of the industry you're in, the choices you made, and how they too, heart to heart, is going to be able to emerge. And we're all going to be part of the $1 Million Club. So people say $1 million, I don't care about money. It's not $1 million. It is $1 million value that we're all going to be part of.
Awesome.
So here's your next card. Because you're finally allowing yourself to be vulnerable and transparent, it is super uncomfortable for you. Your culture does not allow that. We don't tell our secrets. We don't tell people our problems. We don't go outside our family and let people know what's going on. But because of this shift and your vulnerability, this is where your growth has happened. This is what you're teaching your children. And this is where you're going to be successful, not only with your real estate, because again, you're not selling real estate to pay the bills. You are offering those families their dream, their homes. And now with your passion project, that is going to be offer, women and a few brave men, the ability to also be able to manifest and learn from your story, from your culture. Does that make sense?
It does, because that's exactly how it is. Um, I literally just went through a divorce last week.
I will say it. You went through a divorce.
So, and I have, I'm now starting to talk about it on my podcast, talk about it. Uh, it's difficult, especially because of the culture. And I'm more than myself. I'm okay with sharing the story, because I hope it helps change, gives strength to other women, and it gives them courage, and it gives them, empowers them, that what, this is something very personal, but it has to do with us. It's our story in our household, and it's okay for people to change, and it's okay for people to change their rewrite their story. And that's literally what I'm doing. Is I made that I chose to change my own story.
Right.
And so
And, years ago when I was first earning my master's degree, and there was something that one of the residents had mentioned, and it's really kind of just explore this for just a minute. So I'll just tell a story. So for instance, there was a wife and husband at a therapist, and the they're about to get a divorce. And the woman is like, I just can't be in this anymore. I don't want to be in this anymore. And then the man is like, I don't know what her problem is. I don't cheat. I show up. I provide. I give her everything she wants. I do everything she wants me to do. What's the problem? So then it went back to her. And but that's not enough. I want to feel loved and cherished and respected and heard. And he literally was like, what? It's like, but these are the things that I was taught to give. So even though nowadays, it for me to say that, people are like, oh, that's a given. It's not. Still, so when we're in relationships of any sort, and it could be a business relationship, it could be that they are providing the basics and the survival of the basics. But that doesn't mean you settle for that. You go for it all. You want to be heard. You want to be validated. You want to be, in a contributed relationship. You want to be, uprised. There's so many things that you want. You want to be sexually, thrown, every which way, because that is your right and that is a gift, and that's what we should and will expect, nothing less.
Absolutely, and this is something, Miranda, that my daughter has my daughters have taught me, and they are teaching me. They're the ones who share with me and tell me that, Mom, this is how it needs to be, and this is how you need to be, and ask for it all, and if you ask for it all, you will get it all.
And so, two words I want to take away from our language as well as our audience, and that is want and need. I don't want anything. I don't need anything. I deserve and I desire. So when you catch yourself saying, I want, it is I deserve. I need, I desire. So those are my two takeaways. So I just want to thank you so much and the opportunity. We do have a workshop coming up in the next couple of months. It is the Kiss Whisper Academy. I will be teaching women through a beta course of how to be able to read their own lip print and to be able to explore the forensics. And of course, we may go on, and those that are looking for a modality to offer or to even have a business. I perform kiss print readings all over the world. I have recently been on the Housewives of Beverly Hills. Stay tuned. It should be showing any week now.
Wonderful.
I've been at Jimmy
We're
Choo
happy for you.
before. I'm Garcelle's favorite go-to person. Remember, I'm that little girl that was homeless, that didn't have any direction, and I was lucky to get a GED, and you too can do this heart to heart.
Absolutely. And uh, Miranda, I'm going to remove you from the stream, and I'm going to end the show. Thank you so much for being here. Don't leave, just stay on the stream. And I'm going to end it, and I'm going to be right back. So, well, here we go. So, friends, thank you as always for being here. And like Miranda said, coming soon, Miranda and her Kiss Whisperers will be offering a beta course on how to read kiss prints for your personal use, amaze your friends, or monetize your business. Miranda is available to book for parties, events, and private readings as well. She is currently accepting media requests, so you can visit officiallipstickreader.com and contact her. So, once again, thank you so much for carving out the time to hear what was shared on today's podcast. If this inspired you to take the next step in your journey, then I want to invite you to join my email by emailing vip@saimadillon.com. And of course, if you know this podcast episode will help someone, then help me change lives. Just take 30 seconds to simply share the link to the podcast in a text or post it on social media, and I will be so grateful. So thank you for being here.